All right, so after months of being in lockdown, we're finally free. There was ages without getting to hang out with your friends. No meetups, no like lunchtime rugby.
Yeah, no showers.
Well, you were allowed to shower.
I didn't think we had any water, but yeah, anyway. Man, and we're back at school and we still want to keep us apart.
Yeah, and so if you're anything like us, you're trying to figure out how these rules work, you know, because when you get to school, are you allowed to high-five your friends? Are you allowed to share lunch? How many times can you cough without getting arrested?
Mr. Johnson told me 4 times. He'll call the cops after 4 coughs.
All right, so just like your auntie on Facebook, we've done our own research and we've worked out how to make it work best for you getting back into school.
So here are your top 3 tips on how to go back to school safely and keep everyone else safe. Tip number 1, tahi. It's not weird to feel scared.
It's normal if you go back to school and start feeling nervous and anxious around these big crowds. Think about the transition you just went through. You were just spending months at home and being told to stay inside, to socially distance yourself, don't run around and hug strangers. Well, actually, you shouldn't have been doing that anyway. But now that you're at school around all these people, it might feel a bit weird.
It kind of reminds me of like animals in captivity when they release them back into the wild.
Yeah.
I live on a farm and I've got this little lamb. Now, he was like the special lamb that didn't have any parents and stuff. So I had to raise him at home away from all the other sheep. But after a while, grew too big, had to put him back in the paddock. I remember putting him back in the paddock and this lamb was like so nervous. Super scared, super anxious. How could I tell? Man, they didn't have one leg shaking, they had all 4 legs shaking, like the old milk crate bottle challenge, like doing the old Polynesian dance. And you know what? I was a bit scared for it. But after a couple of days, it came around and it finally started hanging out with all the other sheep. It takes a little bit of time to adjust to a new norm, and you don't act so sheepish after a while.
You'll be surprised about how quickly things will feel normal again. And if you see someone else at school who is feeling really scared, man, just give them a bit of space and let them do them.
Tip number 2, rua. Focus on what you can do.
Yeah, there's still going to be heaps of rules because of COVID. And you could just get real mad at the rules and point out how you think they're stupid. Why do I have to wear a mask when I'm outside? And
Why do I have to shower?
What? You still need to shower.
I don't know, bro. Look, right now you can only hang out in small groups. But unless you're in a rap video or you're this guy, you weren't really hanging out in big groups anyway.
Yeah, so hanging out hasn't really changed. If you've got a small clique, all good. Maybe it gives you an excuse not to hang out with that guy who's always trying to scab $1 off you at lunch.
You know what? Eating lunch by yourself potentially used to be quite like lonely. Right now, you're a hero. I salute you.
Yeah, and like there's still probably sports you can play. Just ask your teachers like which ones are safe.
Probably don't play touch because right now we're just doing the old elbow thing. Like it's probably not a good thing. Running at people with an elbow, that's not a sport.
Yeah, that's Muay Thai. That is a sport that's dangerous.
We've just gotten used to connecting and like hanging out online, gaming. But here's the cool thing. We now get to hang out in real life. You get to talk to that person that you've just spent the last few months talking to.
It's time to make up for all that lost time, which is great. So don't focus on all the things you can't do because of the restrictions. Focus on the things that you can do now that you're out of your house and out of your bubble.
Tip number 3, toru. Don't be that person. You know when like that one person gets the whole class in trouble and you've got to stay behind? Yeah, don't be that person.
Yeah, COVID's got heaps and heaps of rules and you might not like obeying them all. Look, I don't know about you guys, I would have loved to get to wear a mask at school. It would have helped. Like, you know, if you got pimple breakouts, hide it. If you got stinky breath, no one can see. Actually, if you've got a mask, maybe the stinky breath makes the pimples break out. I don't know, I'm not a scientist.
We've been wearing masks for protection for ages,
Yeah.
like seriously. We've been wearing masks in war to keep us alive. We've been wearing masks like to stop us from being recognised. We've been wearing masks to stop us from getting recognised and arrested, or wearing masks to stop us from having friends.
And so it's easy to start thinking that all these rules are just out there to control your life and make life harder, but actually the rules are there just to keep everybody safe.
If you're not feeling your best, get a test. If you don't want COVID to spread, stay in bed. If you're feeling a bit sick, don't be that person.
Yeah, you guys get the point.
So those are our top 3 tips on how to go back to school, do it safely, and how to make the most of it.
And just remember, if you are feeling a little bit anxious or overwhelmed, that's all good. You're not alone, lots of people will be feeling that way. I know we've been told to socially distance ourselves, but now is actually a good time to connect with people.
If you need to talk to someone about those feelings, please talk to somebody at home, maybe a family member, maybe a parent, if it's a teacher, or a big person in your life.
All right, and have fun going back to school, guys.
Stay safe, and from Attitude, peace out, wear a mask.